What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over why Canadian business owners overpay in taxes and how to actually fix it. So chances are, if you're watching this, you run a business inside of Canada and you think that you're overpaying in taxes. Chances are you probably are. Canada is definitely one of the highest taxed countries without a strategy. And that's one thing that I have to highlight is if you don't have a strategy, then yeah, you're going to be paying 40%, 50%. Sometimes, depending on the type of income and your business structure, you could be paying 60% plus. So believe me when I say it, Canada is absolutely one of the highest taxed countries without a actual tax strategy. I'll give you a quick example before we get into the core components of the video. I had a client and they were paying over 45% tax, and they were bringing about $400,000 to $500,000 every single year. Now that's a decent chunk. That's almost 50. For easy numbers and sake of conversation, let's just call it 50. Client makes 500 grand. They got about 400 grand in net profits. They pay about 50%. There's 200 grand. So they only get to take home $200,000, and when they take it home, they end up paying personal tax on that. So with the proper tax planning and tax strategy, what we did, and a little bit of corporate restructuring, which is pretty in-depth, but that's what we did do, we were able to lower the actual corporate taxes from 50% all the way down to 9%. So 9% tax, that isn't that bad. In Canada, that's actually pretty damn good. So when you look at it like that, you are now allowed and legitimately able to say, okay, well, actually, Canada isn't the highest tax country, and it's not a super high tax country because I'm only paying 9%. But that only comes with actual corporate tax strategizing. So getting into the video, I've got my notes right here, why Canadian business owners overpay in taxes and how to stop it. The reason number one is because they don't actively think about it. At the end of the day, you need to take responsibility. If you don't do anything about it, if you don't act on anything, you are going to pay taxes, and you're probably going to overpay in taxes. And if you do, I hate to say it, but you have nobody to blame but yourself. You have to take the ultimate responsibility in actively thinking, okay, I'm in Canada making money. How can I pay less tax? What are a couple ways? Now, chances are you're not going to know, and I'll touch up on what to do about this later on. But the reason number one and the main core reason that I see is nobody really actively thinks about it. I do about 8 to 12 sales calls or discovery calls every single week with Canadian business owners, and I think in the last 3 or 4 months, I've only had one person say, hey, I've been thinking about doing this kind of strategy. Is that going to work? And I'll be honest with you, when that guy said that, I thought, holy crap. That's honestly pretty impressive that this guy's actually thinking about it. Wow, okay, cool. Most people don't think about it. They just go, make the money, pay the tax, and then they just move on with it. They don't actively think, shit, how can I lower this tax? What are some ways, what are some strategies that I can come up with? And like I said, it ultimately comes down to taking responsibility. And when you don't, you're going to pay, and you're going to pay in tax. Let me mute that so I'm not disturbing you guys. I just got my coffee here. Okay, so reason number one, because they don't take responsibility and they're not actively thinking, okay? Reason number two, why they overpay in tax, and this, I don't know which one is. I did just say number two, but I hear this a lot. It could be number one, but whatever. Let's say reason number two and reason number one are tied for number one. That's kind of confusing, but whatever. Anyways, reason number two is they ask their accountant or bookkeeper about different tax strategizing and different tax planning. Now, this is not your fault, okay? This is not your fault. You have someone who's doing your actual day-to-day accounting and your annual accounting, whether it's your corporate year-end, your GST return, or your monthly bookkeeping. And you ask them, hey, are there ways that I can lower my taxes? Are there different tax strategizing plans that you can do or that you know of? You're asking the wrong people. That would almost be like asking let's say a janitor at a hotel saying, hey, where's the pool located, or how do I get to the penthouse level, or something like that. Not not that we're putting the accountant and bookkeeper down. In fact, they shouldn't know, because that's not their job. The bookkeeper's job is to do all of the data entry and to produce a monthly profit and loss statement. That's the bookkeeper's job. The corporation's accountant is to make sure that you are in compliance with all of the laws, and you're making all of your deadline filings, all of your GST, PST, HST filings, your corporate year ends, the personal tax. Their job is to make sure that you're not falling behind on any filings, and making sure that you actually file your corporate tax return. That is their job, so it's not their fault. Who you need to speak to is a corporate tax specialist. And shameless plug, yes, my company is a corporate tax specialist. That is our main service. We specialize in Canadian corporate tax strategy. And what I often say is finding more expenses and learning about more deductions, that's not tax planning. That's just basic business operation. That's something that you should be doing. So don't mistake that with corporate tax strategizing and corporate tax planning. What corporate tax strategizing is corporate restructuring, introducing holdcos, introducing trusts, family trusts, bear trusts, introducing multiple entities. It's a corporate structure, and it's a strategy. It's not, hey, let's find a couple more expenses and save $1,000. Okay, that's not corporate tax planning. You are more than welcome to do that, and I encourage you. But at the end of the day, if you want to save real money, and to me, I think real money is $10,000 plus, then you're going to need a corporate tax specialist who specializes in corporate tax planning. If you went to a tax specialist about a bookkeeping question, they probably wouldn't be able to answer it. If you went to a corporate tax specialist about a filing deadline, maybe they could answer it, but that's the accountant's job. So when you have a corporate tax question, or you have a question about different tax planning opportunities and different strategies that you could take advantage of, you need to go to a corporate tax specialist. That's what you have to do. If you go to the bookkeeper, you're either going to get I don't know, or you're going to get information that isn't 100% accurate. And we see that a lot, and we see that happen quite often. And a quick example that I see with this is business owners ask their bookkeeper what they're taking out in personal pay. So are they taking out a dividend or a salary? Most common answer is a dividend. And you would be surprised that most business owners, if you're taking home personally over $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, you should take that out on a T4. But most bookkeepers are just so used to saying, oh, a dividend, oh, just do a dividend, where they just say a dividend. So now when that business owner takes home $100,000 on a T5 dividend income, they're getting hit with a larger and unnecessary tax bill. And that's because they asked the wrong person and they got the wrong answer. So what you have to do is, if you are thinking that you're overpaying in tax, you have to speak to a corporate tax specialist, okay? Someone who specializes in tax planning. Someone who has their CPA, that would not be qualified as a corporate tax specialist, because the level of your accounting department or your accounting stack should be as follows. You should have a bookkeeper doing all of the monthly tasks, giving you your monthly profit loss. You should then have your accountant or CPA doing all of your compliance work, making sure that you're keeping up with filings, getting your returns actually filed. On top of that, you're going to want to have your corporate tax specialist. That tax specialist is going to be creating the actual structure and the actual tax plan. What then happens is that tax specialist then communicates down to the accountant saying, hey, we're going to file this corporate return like this, because it's going to save the client X amount. And that's essentially the stack that you should have. And the corporations that have that stack, they have a very effective tax strategy. They are paying a lot less tax than what they were before, and everything's a lot more clear. And I found everybody's a lot more happier too. And what I mean by that is I often see bookkeepers and accountants get relieved when their clients ask or tell them that they're bringing in a tax specialist, because then, well, first off, it's less work that they have to do. But second off, it's work that they're not familiar with. It would be like asking the electrician, hey, can you install my toilet too? Or do you know how to? The electrician may think, okay, well, yeah, you just have to bolt it down and then you connect the pipes and then you turn the water and then it's good to go. But the plumber would see, no, you have to map out the actual area. You have to make sure that the pipes are fitting right. Once you put the toilet down, you have to bolt it and then you have to caulk all the way around the toilet. Once that's done, you would then need to do a test run or whatever. I'm not a plumber nor electrician. I don't know how. I'm just giving you a quick example, okay? So that's what you have to do, and that's what I see that accountants and bookkeepers get somewhat of a relief when their clients tell them that. So how to actually fix that? Well, going back to the problem number one is you need to actively think about it, okay? Think, how can I save taxes? If you're going to be purchasing a vehicle, how can I purchase that effectively? If you're going to be going on vacation, is there a way that you could possibly roll that vacation into your corporation? If you have multiple family members, you can think, how can I utilize having family members for my business? There's a lot of tax incentives out there, only if you have the right corporation or the right structure. The second thing is to seek help, okay? You are not going to know every single tax planning strategy, otherwise you would be a tax strategist yourself and you wouldn't be running your actual business. So seek help, okay? When you are building a house, you don't build it yourself. You hire framers, you hire drywallers, you hire carpenters. You then get plumbers in there, electricians, window installers, stuff like that. You need to seek specialist info for something like this. It's the exact same deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want a custom corporate tax planning strategy done for yourself and for your corporation, then go ahead. I will link in my calendar below. The call is 100% free. It's strictly just a discovery call to see if I can even help you. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.